Guys, MCU Collector here with the next video in the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, Marvel Studios, the first 10 years of the MCU 10th anniversary figures. Here we have the Iron Man Mark VII, and this is the set number 3 from the 10th anniversary wave. This is an absolutely amazing looking figure in the package, so I cannot wait to get this open. So as you can see here, same style packaging we see with the rest of the 10th anniversary figures. Mark VII, the Avengers logo, the Avengers movie logo, Marvel Studios logo up there. At the top, you can see the side promo artwork, the concept art for the movie looking awesome. You have the Mark, is that the Mark 7? That's actually the Mark 6 there in the concept art because of the triangle arc reactor. You have the Captain America suit that was in the helicarrier, and then you have Iron Man and Thor fighting, so some cool concept art there. It's nice when you kind of put it all together. And on my Instagram earlier today, I actually posted a picture with this one included with the 4 different sets that I have already showing that panoramic collage. On the side, you can see it talks about the movie, the 2012 Avengers release, number 3. It says, when the alien Chitauri threatened to destroy New York City, Tony Stark must suit up in his Mark VII heavy combat armor to launch a nuclear missile at the approaching enemy fleet. Iron Man pushes the suit to its limits, losing power and crashing to the earth as the Chitauri are disabled and the wormhole destroyed at last. Wow, that was a mouthful. Really cool. Back of the package, you can see here the number 3 because it is 3rd in the set Legends series logo, Marvel Studios first 10 years logo, the movie poster for the Avengers, and you can see here Iron Man Mark VII with the bio reading, equipped with a mighty vibranium arc reactor and enhanced flight capacities. The Mark VII is a fully loaded rapid deployment suit built for heavy combat. Now I believe this is actually the first suit that Tony got that just kind of forms itself onto him through pieces. The other one, he needed the gantry, all those different components to put the suit on him. This is the first one that was automatic to just kind of sense where he is and then be able to be able to suit up just on its own. Remember, as Loki threw him out the window and he was falling down, he had those bracelets, and the sensors picked those up, and he was able to suit up. The interesting thing, and it's funny because I posted this picture, and I posted a picture of the bio yesterday on Instagram. I didn't even read it. I had just posted it because I was tired. I didn't get around to do anything. It was late at night. But someone on Instagram actually opened my eyes to this, and it says, he had mentioned that I didn't know that it was a vibranium arc reactor. And I'm like, well, who said that? And he said it's on the back of the box. I'm like, wow, that was a airhead moment for me. So thank you. I forget his username, but thank you for pointing that out to me because I got all excited. I'm thinking, wow, vibranium arc reactor. I don't remember it actually mentioning that anywhere in the movie, or in the comic tie-in, or anything like that. If I'm wrong and it was mentioned somewhere, somehow, let me know down in the comments below. But really cool, fun fact thing I did not know. So there he is. Let's open him up and let's compare him to some of those older Iron Man movie figures. And we might as well take a look at some of the newer ones too, right? Yeah, maybe a couple of them. We'll see. I'm going to compare him definitely to the older ones because since this is an older Mark suit, older armor, I want to really look and see where these figures have come from to where they are now. So really cool. Right, guys, here is the Iron Man Mark VII out of the package, and this is an absolutely amazing Iron Man figure. And is it possible that this is the best movie Iron Man figure yet? Very strong possibility in that. Before we get into this figure, let's take a look at some of the other figures that we do have from the Avengers movie. Now, there was a Walmart exclusive line of movie figures for Avengers. They weren't really Legends, but they were Legend scale. In fact, some of them got re-released as Legends in the UK Hulkbuster exclusive wave. So here we have the battle damaged Iron Man Mark VI. So we're definitely going to compare this guy to the Mark VII. You'll see the big difference in the two armors and everything. You're just going to think, what? It's crazy. We have the Hawkeye that was in that Walmart exclusive line. You know what? I actually missed out. Sorry, I don't know how I did that. We're going to throw Thor in here because I forgot I had him off to the side when I did the Thor Sif movie. So the Thor figure that was part of that Walmart exclusive line, Hawkeye, Captain America, Loki, and Hulk were all a part of that wave. So, and the Iron Man. So those were the Walmart exclusive line. I have a 3-pack of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Nick Fury, the Maria Hill, and the Coulson figure. Those ones I use for my Avengers display. I did recently get another set of those so I can have them kind of spread out between the other movies and whatnot, because they've made several appearances in movies. I also have the Black Widow from the UK Hulkbuster wave. So that figure is here as part of my Avengers display because it has the curly hair, the dark red hair. So that one works perfectly for an Avengers movie figure. So that's why I did that there. So all these figures here, and now we can include the Iron Man Mark VII, and this is an amazing figure, and it just kind of towers over the others, and definitely scales better because it's a person in a suit. It has to make sense, right? So when we look at like the Iron Man Mark VI, side-by-side comparison, that's a huge difference. Is this one believable that somebody's in that suit? Nope. This one, absolutely. So a huge difference. Now keep in mind, because these weren't Legends figures, they weren't necessarily to scale, but I just think at that time, Hasbro, this is the size that they were kind of making some of those figures, because we know that this figure, actually not this figure, I think it was the Mark IV. Was it the Mark IV? I can't think. It was either the Mark IV or the Mark VI that got re-released as a comic figure of the Marvel Now Iron Man from the Hulkbuster wave. So that was the black and gold Iron Man. So they basically re-released one of these older movie figures as a comic figure. It worked, but the size was so small. That's because these figures were so much smaller. So the Iron Man 7, huge figure. We look at like the Iron Man 4. Now this was the first Robert Downey Jr. head that we got, was the Mark IV. And it looked good for the time that it came out, because this came out, when Iron Man 2 came out. So it's a huge difference now. The head's swappable. At least they made the head small for the body because, a helmet would go on it. So at least that works out. But it just doesn't work out in scale with the current Legends that we have now. So you can see that's just a huge difference. And then these two pieces actually utilize a lot of the same parts. And then just for fun, to show you the Mark V, how the Mark V measures up to the Mark VII. And you can see now the Mark V should be a little bit smaller compared, because it's not a fully powered suit. It's the suitcase suit. So of course it would be a little bit smaller, but even still, it's just, there's no way someone would fit inside this figure. Although it does look good, I like it, but it's hard to stand because there's no ankle pivot on these older figures. But it's definitely a nice one to have. It looks good, at least. So kind of a close-up on the size. That is a huge, huge difference. So really cool. So back to the Iron Man Mark VII, and we're kind of looking at. So the accessories that he comes with is an extra set of hands. So these are just the fists, the right and left. In the package, he comes with the right hand, has the fist already in there, and then the left is an open hand. So he also has these hands so you can do the arc reactor effect, and mine just dropped. So I just had it like there as if he's kind of boosting up. But these are the same arc reactor effects that we've seen over and over again. There's actually no paint on these, given that additional blast effect type of thing, but they just port into the hands like so. And then there's no wrist articulation on these hands because it's purposely made to give you that arc reactor look to it. So that's that. But again, we've seen those many times, and it's very easy to change out the hands. You just pop them out, pop them back in, but watch out for this this hand plate there. You want to make sure that goes over the arm, the forearm, to make sure it goes in nice and smooth and doesn't give you any problems. Like so. Now this is a very good looking figure. So it's a deep red, and he actually has some of that marbleization that I was talking about in a different video, which I really do like because it gives it a metallic look. But the great thing about this figure is the size came out looking really good, but there's some new things to it that really make it cool and stand out. So the back piece here, so in the movie, and I don't remember exactly which parts and whatnot, I have to kind of look through it, there's these additional flaps here from when he's flying. So if you get him into a flight pose, it's actually hard to get his head up. If you get into a flight pose, these flaps can use either while he's flying and he needs to stop quickly I think maybe when he's going after the missile, right, so the flaps come up and then it hits the air and it slows him down significantly quicker. I think that's what they're for. So that's pretty cool. There's no additional paint really on the back. You get a little bit of gray or a little bit of silver in there, a little bit of gold right there, but the flaps just kind of go there, and you actually have some paint on the flaps. So that's pretty cool. Here on the front, you get some gold on the side of the legs, and then the front is this nice silver color. That looks very good. There's a little bit of silver there on the knee, on the inside of the knee as well. The hinges down there. Oh, look at that. I didn't notice that. Look at the back of the leg. Paint chips. That's too bad. Good thing it's on the back of the figure, though. But definitely a problem. When we look at a lot of the figures recently, lots of QC paint issues. This one's no different. When you have something very noticeable like that, that's a problem, Hasbro. Come on. I see a lot of gold paint rub. I don't know if it comes through. If you could see that on the leg there, there's a little bit there that shouldn't be there. So that's definitely unfortunate. Really cool. Close-up look at the head sculpt, the helmet. Looks good. They have a blue paint inside there to give it the look like the eyes are lit up. The arc reactor is just plain white. They didn't even do like a blue outline like they've done with previous arc reactors to give it that light up look like the eyes. See how this one there's a blue around the white to make it look like it's lit up. This one doesn't have that. You think they would have done that since they did that with the eyes, so they missed the mark there. Some nice silver paint and the red on the shoulders there. Yeah, that does bother me. Wow. That does look good. Very good looking Iron Man figure. The sculpt work of it is nice. There's some good line work in there as well. I know it's hard to see, but if you look at the shape, I don't know, it's not going to come through on camera very well. But the shape, it's looking kind of dark. I got to fix the lighting. I don't know what's going on today. The shape of the legs kind of, they have that very curved look to it. So the sculpt is just really nice on this guy. But let's look at the articulation. So the head is actually a little bit difficult to get him to really look up. See, it just kind of pops the head off. But you could just pop it right on, but he can look all the way down. That's actually hard to get him to really look all the way up, unfortunately. The shoulders go all the way out, so these shoulder straps are kind of a softer material. They'll move around no problem. That ball joint gets a lot of good range of motion there. There is an upper bicep swivel there. You get a double jointed elbow, which gives you a very good bend at the elbow. The wrists swivel, and the fisted hands do hinge. Remember, the alternate hands do not hinge. No hinge to those ones. So there is no ab crunch, but there is a diaphragm joint. So he moves forward a little bit. And keep in mind, this is a full suit of armor, so he shouldn't be able to crunch all the way down anyway. Crunching back, he can a little bit. These flaps are going to hinder that a little bit. Let's see if we can get the flaps kind of out, if that'll make a little bit of a difference. Actually, not really, because I'm looking at the sculpt of that piece right there. It comes down. That's going to hinder it from crunching back so much. But again, he shouldn't be able to crunch back too much. He is in a suit of armor. Now, the way the sculpt looks is, at first I actually thought there might be another like diaphragm or waist, type of swivel joint in there. It's just the way the plastic is cut makes it look like it's a separate piece that'd be able to move around. It does not move. I thought it would. So these legs are like the older ball joints, except they're not really a ball, so that's good. They go out quite a bit, probably more than they really need to, but that's good. It goes out about that far, not a whole lot. Goes back a little bit. There is that upper thigh cut there at the top, and you could see where it moves around. That looks good. You get a double jointed knee, so really good bend at the knee. The foot does not hinge up very much at all. Hinges down quite a bit, but the sculpt of the leg is really hindering that. There is ankle pivot, just not as much as some of the other ones because, again, of the sculpt of these leg pieces. So not a whole lot there, though it does pivot. So there he is, Iron Man Mark 7. Very good looking figure, and I would probably say that, yeah, he's probably the best Iron Man figure that we have. I like the more traditional look to it, where the red and gold, whereas the new ones, the newer Iron Man figures started to kind of really get kind of more red than gold. I like the classic look of it. I always thought it was one of the best suits of armor that he had. Here's the Mark 42. This was the gold and red one, but you can see this one really has those ball joints at the hips. This one is a little bit, these ones are definitely better. Even size wise, you could see the Mark 7 is definitely bigger than the Mark 42. So they really figured out the good size proportions for this Iron Man figure, which is awesome. So this guy for $24.99 I think is really what you're looking at, because for one, it's a brand new sculpt, but when they add things on like these flaps, how necessary are they? Not sure, but isn't that pretty cool that we have those options of that? Whereas with all these figures, we've really been lacking different things as it relates to the movies and how accurate they are to the film. That's definitely a nice touch that we added on there. So a couple of paint things here and there, but for $24.99, I don't think it's a bad figure. I think it's one worth picking up, especially another movie figure, an armor that we did not get before. In my opinion, the best Iron Man movie figure that we have. But there's my review. You guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button if you liked the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And as always, I'd like to thank you for watching.